What's going on YouTube? OCD for EDC here. And what I've got for your face balls today is exciting news. So most of you guys know that I have had a YouTube channel for, I don't know, a little over a year, maybe getting close to 2 years, something like that. And most all of my YouTube videos revolve around, EDC items, mainly pocket knives. And I have done a lot of mod work and showed a lot of different processes on different mods and different things like that. But some of the mod work doesn't really appeal to people. Oop, here I'm bumping my camera. Doesn't really appeal to people in the EDC community, if you will. And they would rather see, just straight up content on knives and other EDC items and that sort of thing. So, in an interest of doing things a little bit differently, you guys also know that I have created an item here that I sell on my website, ocdforedc.com. This is called a CME, compression made easy, and this is a part that I machine. This one here happens to be glow carbon fiber. However, I machine these parts out of multiple materials, and it's a little accessory for Spyderco compression lock knives. So anyway, because I do a lot of machining as well as 3D printing, this here just happens to be a little, like C-clamp, but it's 100% 3D printed and works extremely well. I've also showed, making stuff like this, a little machine vise, and this here is also 100% 3D printed. It's even got soft jaws in there that are made out of TPU. So I've gotten heavily into 3D printing. Also made things like this, a fractal vise where all the jaws move so you can clamp irregular objects. And even getting into 3D printed firearm components. So this here, for those that don't know, this is an AR-15 lower. This is just a stock 5.56 AR-15 mag. And so because I get into a lot of different things as it applies to 3D printing and machining, CNC machining, and that sort of thing, modding of knives, I have decided to start a separate channel. So this video right here is going to be the first video posted on the new channel. The new channel is called OCD for CNC. And for those that don't know what CNC means, it is computer numeric control. And CNC applies to, things like CNC mills, which I use to manufacture this part right here. But also, CNC is used for 3D printing and a whole host of other things. And so on my second channel, OCD for CNC, we are going to be talking all about tools, 3D printers, CNC mills, CNC lathes, all sorts of different, and not just CNC stuff, but also manual mills, manual lathes. I'm going to show a bunch more content from my shop and things that I do down there. So when I'm, modding knives like this one right here, this happens to be the Tucson Vandal, designed by Lee over at Love Them Knives, another YouTuber. But milling out that fuller right there, that's where I'm going to show that kind of stuff, is on this second channel, OCD for CNC. So like I said, this is going to be the first video on that new channel. And because I assume anyway that the CNC aspect will draw some different people that aren't necessarily just into the pocket knife stuff. you know, I kind of wanted to give a little backstory on where I'm coming from and the things that I do. You know, my channel really revolves around OCD for EDC, really revolves around everyday carry items. So for those that don't know what EDC stands for, that is everyday carry. And yeah, so there you go. I'm starting a second channel, OCD for CNC. I would hopefully, you know, the two things are going to kind of go hand in hand. I will be showing a fair amount of, you know, 3D printed firearm content. I've got a lot more coming and a lot more to show off. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that. It's pretty interesting, and there's you know, a growing community, if you will, of people 3D printing firearms. So that's really, really cool, and something that definitely interests me. But you know, there's all sorts of practical purposes for 3D printing, and you can do, you know, all sorts of stuff. But you can also just have fun and, you know, print fun stuff like this right here. I cannot be held responsible for what my face does when you talk. You know, funny signs, that sort of thing. Here's another sign that I made right here. Nothing brings a group of assholes together faster than something that's none of their fucking business. And that is absolutely a true statement right there. This is for all the Karens out there. And it just made me laugh. And so, you know, a lot of these designs you can get off of websites like Thingiverse and that sort of thing. Here's another sign right here. There's no I in team, but there is 3 U's and shut the fuck up. Better words have never been spoken. So, you know, we'll be showing this kind of stuff, how to make this kind of stuff, but also, you know, how to make useful tools. This here is a design that was designed by another YouTuber, actually, Dr. D-Flow. He's got a really interesting channel, does a lot of 3D printer content and whatnot. But this is basically a third hand for soldering wires. So you've got spring-loaded clips here that hold the wires. You can see the little V slots there. And so this would hold wires from either direction. And then you've got, if you can see that, solder coming up through the middle. And so if I rotate this wheel, it extends more solder. So now, if you're going to solder wires, you know, like out working on a vehicle, fixing wires on a trailer or something like that, trailer lights, anybody that owns trailers knows how pain in the ass trailer lights are. You know, you would be able to fix things properly instead of using shitty crimp connectors. You could actually solder stuff with, you know, a soldering iron and this tool right here. You just load solder up in the handle right there, and then this is just dovetailed on. Oop, there we go. And it's actually a really cool little tool. So there are bearings in here. There's an extruder, a 3D printer extruder gear that's inside here that is driven by this thumb wheel. So it's a very interesting tool that is really functional, super cool. These were printed out of PETG, so they will withstand a little higher temperatures than most of your PLAs. We're going to get into all that stuff. We'll talk all about tools and show how to make all this kind of stuff. And I just thought it would be interesting to, you know, see, you know, have a place to put this kind of content, because this is something that is also very... I spend a lot of time on this kind of stuff, working in my shop and doing different things, although a lot of it does revolve around pocket knives and different processes to come up with modding knives. I do, like this knife here did not have a hole in the blade, so I milled a hole for spidey flicking and that sort of thing. But again, you know, and also making these sort of custom parts. This is something that I spend a lot of my time doing. And so I figured that I would have a place to show a lot of that stuff. And one of the first things that we're going to be doing I have showed and recently just unboxed a brand new 3D printer, which is going to be my top of the line 3D printer, if you will. I recently purchased a Rat Rig V-Core 3. It has a build volume of 500 millimeters cubed, so 500 by 500 by 500. So it's a very large format printer, and it's going to have all sorts of really cool features to it. I've got all the parts here that I need, and so I am going to start building that printer. We are going to show those videos, the whole build process on this channel here, OCD for CNC. So we've got right here, this is a solid state relay for that new printer along with the heat sink. So that's very cool. One of the other cool things about the new printer, I'm actually running, if I can get it out of here, I'm actually running 2 power supplies. So this here is a 24 volt Meanwell power supply. And then I have right here a 48 volt Meanwell power supply. So for those that are into 3D printing, you can probably see where this is going. I didn't bring it out here, but I also, the main board that my new printer will be running is the new BIQU Tech Octopus Pro, which is I'm super pumped about. We also have TMC 5160 stepper motor drivers for all of the stepper motors on the new Rat Rig, and here is one of them right here, the 5160. This is kind of, you know, top of the line for stepper motor drivers at this point in time, and this is what is allowing me to utilize that 48 volt power supply for the Core XY movement of this new Rat Rig printer. For those that, if I'm just speaking Greek to you right now, all this will make more sense in the next handful of videos. Here is one of the stepper motors for the Core XY movement of the new printer. Like I said, I've got all of the parts. This here is an LBO motor. And so I'm really looking forward to getting this printer built. And yeah, we've got tons of parts here. And we're actually going to have a few different hot ends on the new printer. This is one of them here. This is an extruder that I've used previously on my very first printer that I purchased, which was a Mingda D2, kind of a real budget model, but I've done significant upgrades. It actually prints fantastic. But so this will be one of the extruders that I have on the new printer. If I can get it out of here. Here it is right here. So this right here is the small little stepper motor. And so with the 3D printer, think of it as a really fancy hot glue gun. So you've got different types of plastic that you will feed in here. It's 1.75 millimeter in diameter printer filament, and it feeds in here. The stepper motor drives it and heats it up, squirts it out the nozzle right here. So this is a very, very small and compact extruder. I really love this extruder on my Mingda printer, so I picked up another one for the Rat Rig, and that is going to fit extremely well on the Rat Rig. And then I also picked up a Fadis high flow Dragon hot end. And so this is a completely different setup here, but this is a high flow setup, all metal hot end. It'll allow me to get higher temperatures and print with different materials, as well as print more plastic. So you guys will see this as well. And then just yesterday, I received this package right here. And this package, this is called the Hermit crab. This is from BIQU Tech, or BIQU, and BIQU Tech is a company that makes all sorts of 3D printers. They have their own line of 3D printers as well as 3D printer accessories. Tons and tons of parts. They make all sorts of motherboards and all kinds of stuff. I've really enjoyed using their products. And I've bought a lot of stuff from Big Tree Tech, and they happened to actually send this to me, which is super cool. So thank you so much, Big Tree Tech, for sending this over. But what this is, and this is actually the can. So they have the Hermit Crab Standard or the Hermit Crab CAN. And we're going to get way more into detail about this, but I'm going to show it off real quick just so you guys can see what this is. So the Hermit Crab is a quick tool change apparatus that is offered. This is a brand new product from Big Tree Tech, and what this allows you to do is this portion right here will be hard mounted on the printer, and these plates, which there are 3 of these, I think, yeah, right there. So I got 2 more, and what this allows me to do is put different tools on this plate right here, and so you could wire it up to all of these connecting points, and then you can see the tabs all the way around the center here, and the alignment pins, and then in the middle there is a spring-loaded lock right there. All these pieces are billet aluminum. They are hard anodized coated. The quality of this looks to be fantastic. I have not used one of these yet, but then this just clips on like that right there. And so this allows you to quick change your tools on the printer. So this is going on my new rat rig printer. I'm super excited about it, and this is going to just be awesome. So I'm going to show the whole process, how to install this, everything about it. It's got a lot of features. There's a tremendous amount of stuff going on with this thing. So thank you so much to Big Tree Tech for sending this over. And like I said, you guys will see much more of this to come. But I am super excited about that. Okay, so hopefully that kind of gives an overview of what is going to be on the new channel, OCD for CNC. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, and you know, like I said, it's maybe not going to all apply to CNC type tools. There will be a lot of 3D printer content, also CNC machining content. I'm going to show all kinds of stuff when it comes to tools. You know, maybe we'll be talking about belt grinders, all sorts of stuff. So all the work that I do in my shop, that stuff will be posted here on this channel. And yeah, so I hope you guys will enjoy that. I just wanted to separate things out just because, like I said, the knife content has its own place on my original channel, OCD for EDC. And now I'm going to have a place that's really dedicated more towards the actual building of these things, the tooling that I use, and showing that process. You know, like here we've got laser etching on this blade. You know, that kind of stuff I'm going to show here on this channel, OCD for CNC. All right, guys, that about covers it. If you got any questions or anything, post them up in the comments. I will be posting a video on my original channel talking about this new channel. So I hope a lot of the original subscribers to OCD for EDC will enjoy this type of content and come over. And like I said, you know, I'm sure that there'll be people that subscribe to this channel that, you know, are not necessarily into the knives, or more into the, you know, 3D printing stuff or CNC milling or whatever. So anyway, guys, hopefully this is something that you'll be interested in. I've had a lot of questions about the type of stuff that I do and showing off the work that I do and that kind of thing. So I figured I would just make a separate channel to show all that off. And here it is. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all of your support, and you will see a lot more content coming very, very soon. Thanks. I'm gone.